What's up guys, Lady here, and today I'm bringing you guys another story time video. I know this is long overdue, but hey, I eventually did it, alright? So this is a story of when my sub, she passed out in the classroom. So let me set the scene for you. It is 7th grade, 6th period English. So everybody, we're doing our work, we're in groups, and the sub, she was sitting on the desk like by herself, like watching us do our work. And so like I'm just staring into space, and then like out of nowhere, in my peripheral vision, like the sub, she just passed out. Like she slid out her chair, her eyes rolled to the back of her head. She's out on the floor, and like at the time, like it's only a handful of us who seen her pass out, and I'm just freaking shocked at the moment. I'm shocked, and like that bad kid, like that one bad kid in the class, yeah, his name was Caleb, and so Caleb, he was like, "Oh my gosh, Mrs. Sample." Mr. Sample was the co-teacher, like, cause he didn't have a class 6 period, and he was like always in our classroom. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, Mr. Sample." He was like, "Mr. Sample, the sub just passed out." Like Mr. Sample and Caleb did not get along at all. And so he was like, "Yeah, Caleb, just go over there do your work." He didn't believe him at first, and he was like, Mr. Sample," like pat him on his head because he was bald, and that was like the okay to pat him on his head, I guess. He was like, "Mr. Sample, the sub passed out." And then he was getting mad. He was like, "Boys, if you touch my head one more time," like he was one of them old school teachers. He was like, "Boys, if you touch my head one more time." And then he looked at this sub. He was like, "Oh my gosh." And so then he like buzzed into the office, like the black button that buzzes in, and he like did that. And so like Caleb, he's over here going down the hallway, and like he's banging on the doors, like telling all the teachers, like this sub just passed out. Just banging on the door, teacher passed out. And so then I'm talking to my best friend because she was sitting right next to me. I was like, "Bro, this is so crazy. She just passed out." And she was like, "What if she died?" Because she was like good 60 or 70 years old, and then like she freaking just passed out. Like, yeah, you probably assuming that she's dead. And so then one teacher came in, she was like, "Don't touch her," because we was like all standing around her, like, what do we do? It's like, "Don't touch her, she might be having a seizure." And so then like all the other teachers come in, and then the nurses come in. Like them nurses came quick, and so then like the nurses, they had like their little medical supply kit and all that stuff. And so then like the other teacher, she was like, "Bro, go to my classroom." So we're going to her classroom, and like all the other kids are looking at us like, "Bro, what's going on in y'all classroom? What's happening?" And then like Caleb was like, "Bro, the sub just passed out." And then everybody was like, "Bro, what, she passed out?" Like they was confused and stuff like that. We was confused too. And like the sub just passed out. We was like, "Yeah, the sub just passed out out of nowhere." And so then the teacher came back in the classroom. She was like, "Man, don't be asking them none of them questions. Do your work." And then everybody's just like over here, like still talking about it and stuff like that. So like now when we go back in the classroom, like the sub, like the nurses left, and like it's just Mrs. Sample in the room, and she was sitting at the desk, and she was like holding her head, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And she was like, "Oh, I don't remember anything." And she was like holding her head, and she was like, I don't know what happened." And then she was like, "I might have passed out because I have low blood sugar, and I didn't take any sugar this morning." And like the nurses, they gave her candy and stuff like that. And so we're still pretty traumatized because that happened like 5 freaking minutes ago, and we're just still wondering what happened to this lady. She was like, "I am so sorry if I caused any commotion, if I scared anybody. I didn't take any candy this morning, and so I passed out. I'm sorry." And I was like, "Yeah, bro, you kind of did cause a lot of commotion, like, yeah, yeah." And so then, like, everybody, they were just still kind of like, still kind of shook because the lady just passed out. And that happened freaking 3 years ago. Like, I was in 7th grade then, and now I'm in the 10th grade. Like, bruh. So that's my little short story for you guys. And if you have any topics, just put them in the comment section, and I'll most likely like do a story time video on that. So alright guys, thank you for watching. Please leave a like, rate, subscribe. Peace and chicken grease.